I call the member for Cura.
Sorry, Mr Deputy Speaker. I move that a bill be introduced for an act to ensure that Australian steel is used in infrastructure or public works constructed by or on behalf of public authorities.
The question is this bill be now introduced. All those of their opinion say aye. Aye. Contrary no. I think the ayes have the ayes have it. I call the member for Cura.
I bring up the bill and move that this bill be now read a second time. Well, Mr Deputy Speaker, we're back. We're back. That's how it works. That's how it works for us in the Illawarra. That's how it works. What we do in the Labor Party is we can get defeated once and we don't crawl back into a corner and cry and whinge and get upset. What we do is we come back to the oldest parliament in New South Wales, we bring back important legislation and we go again. And I'll tell you what, I've heard around the corridors of power today, everyone's so grateful for the opposition who've got bills because we would have been going home yesterday. We've been going home. Something the matter about 4 o'clock. See you later, lights out, turn them off. We're a big government of reform. I can't believe your reform agenda over there. It's incredible. Bring back the library bill. Mr Deputy Speaker, so can I start by thanking the Shadow Minister for Finance for assisting the government, for basically assisting the Parliament to ensure that work goes on. We'll probably be moving a bill in the next couple of weeks to reduce the number of sitting days for the rest of the term, just to save some costs. We're about economic responsibility in this place, fiscal management. We don't need the rate of this. The rate of this doesn't need to be happening 3 days a week. So what we'll do is we'll bring a fiscal management reduction in Parliament hours Act.
Member for Cura, I would ask you to address your piece of legislation.
I will do. Okay, Mr Deputy Speaker, what a bill this is. Securing the New South Wales Steel Industry Bill. A bill that my great friends and colleagues, the member for Wollongong, the member for Shellharbour and myself are so glad to have introduced again, are so proud of, are so passionate about. And we are passionate about it because what this bill does is not just secure tens of thousands of jobs. You'd think that's reasonably important, small thing. It doesn't just secure hundreds of small businesses and contractors who rely on the steel industry, but most importantly, what it does for this nation and for this nation's economy is it ensures that we have a strong, robust and vibrant steel industry going forward. Mr Deputy Speaker, this is critical. This is critical to the region that I am fortunate to represent. It's critical to the men and women that my colleagues, the member for Wollongong and the member for Shellharbour, are so grateful to represent. It's critical to the hard-working local communities in the areas of Illawarra, south-western Sydney, western Sydney, those who rely on a strong and vibrant steel industry. Mr Deputy Speaker, let me be clear what this bill does. The Securing New South Wales Steel Industry Bill has the following key objectives. We will mandate, for the first time in this nation's history, at least 90% use of Australian-made steel in publicly funded infrastructure projects. I'm proud of that policy. My colleagues are proud of that policy. The hard-working men and women of the Illawarra are proud of that policy. But most importantly, Mr Deputy Speaker, if you take the temperature of the men and women in communities across New South Wales, what they are looking for at the moment is for the government to use their purchasing power to drive stronger economic and social reforms. It means that when we make those significant purchases, when we use taxpayers' money to build those significant infrastructure projects, we get more than a road, we get more than a bridge, we get more than a hospital, we get more than a school. What we get is apprenticeships. What we get is long-term traineeships. What we get is small businesses, contractors, suppliers, supported. Mr Deputy Speaker, this is not something that is new. This is happening around the globe as we speak. There is a shift in the way countries are looking at using taxpayers' funding to make sure they drive beyond a simply low price for a product. But this bill does more than that. This bill does more. This bill also ensures that we have a New South Wales steel industry advocate to certify the use of Australian-made steel and monitor its use in publicly funded projects. Mr Deputy Speaker, critical, important, sensible reform. I also thank the government for basically adopting that reform. They've come down, we brought them down to the Illawarra, dragged kicking and screaming. No one was talking about steel until my friends, the member for Wollongong, the member for Shellharbour and I brought it to this place. The economic rationalists over there basically said, too bad, so sad, we'll hit the wall. Didn't hit the wall with Manil Trump, but we'll hit the wall. We'll hit the wall. But funny now, we had a round table the other day. Round table. Report back in 30 days. Report back in 30 days. Hopefully it's not a secret report, but most other reports there. Report back in 30 days. Report back in 30 days. We'll see what's done. Apparently it reports back to the member for Kiama. He prefers nowadays to be called the Parliamentary Secretary for Parliamentary Secretaries. But Mr Deputy Speaker, well, the member for Wollongong ably represented us there, so I wasn't allowed to be there. The member for Shellharbour wasn't allowed to be there. Secret meeting. But Mr Deputy Speaker, member for Wollongong has made it clear, written in correspondence, that we want to see this advice. We want to see what comes back. This is not the member for Kiama's reform. This is not his decision. This is a bipartisan issue that we want to make sure the men and women of the community we represent are getting a fair deal. At the moment, we don't believe they're getting a fair deal. We don't believe they're getting a fair deal because if they did, you would have supported this bill a few weeks ago. But we'll be back. You knock us off today, I'll be reintroducing it again. This bill will remain continually reintroduced until Labor gets elected in March 2019, and then we'll bring it from that side and introduce it in its place. That's what we'll be doing. That's what Labor will be doing. This is the first plank in securing tens of thousands of jobs in one of the key strategic industries, not on the New South Wales economy, but in the Australian economy. Mr Deputy Speaker, I acknowledge that my good friend, the member for Kiama, has arrived.
Always at the end. Always at the end.
As we always say on my signature block, I always put the member for Kia above everything else. Always put the member for Kia above everything else. Most important job we've got in this place. Most important job we've got in this place. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, another thing about the steel industry advocate has outlined in this bill is that it will be located in the Illawarra region. Now, why is that important? Well, important because we have the steelworks. Also important is because we've still got a very large manufacturing base. We are going to make sure the advocate, the watchdog, is close to the industry and the stakeholders. They're not going to be up here. They're not going to be away from the action. They're going to be down where it matters, placed at the centre of the steel industry in this country. At the heart of the steel industry in this country will be the steel advocate. The first time this has been established in New South Wales, the first time it has been proposed in New South Wales, and it's a Labor reform and it should be supported by this government today. Mr Deputy Speaker, but this goes on. This goes on. I understand just about 48 hours ago, my friend, the member for Wollongong, did a very good investigative work. Because those very complex things, street signs, very difficult to manufacture, very unique product, very few people can actually manufacture them. Very interesting. He went past one. Said, it's unusual. Street sign. Dirty big label down the middle. Made in Vietnam. Vietnam. It's unusual. Unusual because our good friend, the Lord Mayor, big advocate for steel, all of a sudden. Big advocate for steel. Strong steel procurement policy that he has in council. Caught out. He was caught out. So the reality is, Mr Deputy Speaker, we're doing the work over here to drive this reform. We are doing the work over here to secure the steel industry. If this bill doesn't pass today, my friend the member for Wollongong, my friend the member for Shellharbour, and myself will be back and we'll keep reintroducing it, we'll keep debating it, and because of its critical importance, I declare that this bill to be an urgent bill. I declare this bill to be an urgent bill, and I want to bring this on as an urgent bill.
The question is,
Why did you lie?